Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, what are some of the tax deductions or write-off that you guys have in your company? Ideally, the lesser-known ones. Yeah.
Well, how much are you trying to write off? Let's start with that.
Let's just say that you have green light to fire away. I'm all ears.
Well, first thing I do is I put my vehicle in there. Mitch and I both put our trucks in the company, and that was $2,000 a month. So there's $24,000 a year in our trucks alone. We pay our insurance through it. That helps also. We try to live our lives as much through the company as we can, because a lot of times it's okay to, because, for example, our cell phones, our cell phones are used almost strictly for business reasons. So our cell phones are in there. I'm sure that's an easy one. You know that one. Other write-offs, the trucks, the cars are a big one. Have you looked at putting a vacation home in the company by chance?
No, I haven't done that. I know that a lot of the stuff that we have done since we bought the airplane and all the upgrades that came afterward for the avionics, all of that, my accountant was fine with writing it off. But I have some funds that I would like to make them go away. So I just need more creative ways of stuff that we haven't thought about.
We put our ranch in the business, and that knocks a lot of it. You got the ranch payment, you got the ranch upkeep. So that's why I'm saying, think about a vacation home. There's a lot of upkeep and all that on a vacation home. If you want a vacation home, don't do it just to do it,
Right.
But if you'd like to have a home somewhere else, and you can take money lenders there, all that kind of stuff, and write that baby off. That's what we do. We use that ranch for entertainment. We use it a lot for entertainment.
Good idea. Yeah.
And it's paid dividends. We also put another one of our hunting leases in there, and we take people out on the hunting lease, and that's another $10,000 a year. So it all adds up. But those are the two biggest ones. The vehicles and the ranch is by far the two biggest.
Yeah, I have two cars on the company name, and I think combined they're about $3,000 a month in write-off, which is great. Marketing, it's the biggest expense that we have. But like I was asking to my friends, and some of them really came up with creative stuff. Like, for example, on the annual meetings and the minutes for the company, you take the team to a big meal, even if it's just your family. You take them to a big meal, and you can write it off as the minutes for the company for the year. So stuff like that, I thought it was very creative. And
we've done some of that in the past, but they changed the rules on that, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think you can only write off a certain amount of it now, like half of it or something like that.
So the way I understand it is, and the way my accountant explained it to me recently, is there's two type of categories, if you will, when it comes to meals and entertainments, which is required meals and everything else. And the required meals are strictly business meals, and you can write those off 100%. The other ones are meals and entertainment. Entertainment is no longer valid, so you stick with meals, and that's 50% off of whatever you spend.
Yeah, we stopped doing as many of those because the entertainment and the meals didn't do much for us anymore. We do those bigger ones I was telling you about. The other thing you can do is make sure, if you don't want to buy a place, make sure you're vacationing on it. We vacation and travel through the company, and we just make sure we go to some real estate stuff when we're somewhere. Write it all off,
Oh yeah, the travel. That's not a problem because keep in mind, most of my business is in Georgia. The traveling gets deducted, and so that part we already have it covered. Anything, like anything education related, travel related, gets 100% deducted. I
Yeah.
just wanted to know if you guys were, doing anything like super creative to even bring that tax bill liability even lower.
The most creative is the ranch. That knocks it out big time. And what's nice about it is we still have an asset at the end if we want,
Right. But does it knocks it down because of the depreciation or because of the expense of upkeeping the ranch?
Both.
So you combine them. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is the ranch considered a residential property or a commercial property?
Long-term hold, and I think that one's under commercial.
So you deducted for like 39 years. I think it's for commercial.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Mike, the other thing that I wanted to ask you, and I don't know if you or Mitch, could answer this, is when you borrow money from a lender, they lend money to your company, and then you relend those funds to the end borrower, correct?
Say that one more time.
When you're working with a lender, they lend money to you, and you relend those funds to the person buying your property, correct?
No, what we do is they lend money to us, and then we turn around and finance the property to them. We don't lend the funds to the next guy.
Could you explain that a little bit deeper?
So if we're doing hard money with private money, if they're lending us private money and then we're turning around and lending it as hard money, then yes, we're taking the money from them and loaning it to somebody else and getting a first lien on the house, right? But if we're owner financing it, someone is loaning the money to us and then we're selling them a home. So we're not lending them the money. We're selling them a home and making them mortgage the home.
Okay, so for a moment, let's talk about the hard money part of it. If somebody lends you the money and then you re-lend it out, what guarantees does that person has on their money?
We give them the first lien on the house, and we do a collateral assignment. So what happens is they lend us the money. We lend the people the money on the house. Well, they owe us the first lien. We give them a collateral assignment back to the lender that's what gives them their guarantee. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. So basically, that's what Mitch calls pledging the mortgage, right?
Correct.
Oh, okay. And the way that you handle it on the seller financing side, it's different than on the hard money lending side?
Say that again?
The way that you work it on the seller financing, it's different than on the hard money lending?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happens with the owner financing side is they lend us the money. We give them the first lien on the house right then and there. And then we turn around and wrap that first lien and sell the house.
Do you need to be a licensed mortgage company to wrap it?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Now, if you do more than 3 a year or 5 a year, depending on where you're at, then you need to do it through an RMLO who is a licensed loan originator.
Now, in those situations, when you wrap the mortgage, what guarantees does the lender has in regards to the property?
When I wrap the mortgage, what guarantee do they have?
Yeah.
they have the first lien on the house from me, and then I've wrapped around their first lien to give myself a lien. So they have the ultimate lien on the house.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see. I hear you loud and clear. Okay. Yeah, because right now, let's see, I'm getting a lot of people that they're seeing what I'm doing and they're throwing money at me like you wouldn't believe. And I have been a little bit skeptic about taking it because I didn't have a solution for them to be protected if something goes south.
Yeah. So what I'll tell a quick story about a gentleman that I knew here in town that he borrowed a lot of money and didn't give people first liens on the property, and he then sold all those or just loaned on property and never gave people first liens, got behind, lost some money here and there, and then he wound up way short on paying the debts back. If those people had all had a first lien on a house, one, it would have kept him in check, and two, those people's investment would have been safe. What's nice about doing one loan per house one loan per property should give you kind of some checks and balances, right? So if something goes wrong and with that property or anything like that, and those people have that first lien, they're going to get paid back, or it's going to get figured out before it gets very far down the road. If you don't have that kind of check in place, and you just borrow and you don't give people their first liens, it could get a little bit out of hand. I've seen it happen. So if you do borrow, we always suggest you make sure you borrow on a first lien. Give them a first lien on a house.
Right. The only problem is most of my business is hard money lending. When I'm selling
you
the
can still
property,
give them that first lien. You can still give them that first lien by pledging the collateral to them. Pledge the note back to them.
By assigning the note to them. Is that how you call it? Assignment of mortgage?
No, you're pledging the note to them, not assigning it to them. If you assign the note to them, you're like giving the note to them.
Right.
You don't want to do that because you wouldn't get your margin. You want to
Right.
pledge the note to them.
Pledge the note. Okay. Right. And I'm assuming that's a document that it's signed at closing?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, ours is all done at closing, and we call it a I'll think of it in a second, but we do them all at closing, yes, at the same time.
Okay. Is that typically done? I'm assuming it's done by an attorney, right? Or you just have the draft and you change the data and you use the same templates for all the loans.
We do them in-house, but we suggest people use an attorney. We do them in-house because we've done them for 20 years and we have the same person doing them for 20 years. But I would have an attorney do them so you don't have any issues.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think. All right, excellent.
Collateral assignment is what it's called. It's called a collateral assignment here.
And that's collateral assignment is what you call when you pledge the mortgage?
Pledge the note, correct.
Okay, collateral assignment. Got it. Excellent. That's all I have for now, Mike.
Hey, are you doing any texting right now to your list?
Funny that you ask. They kicked me out.
Really?
Yeah, man. Apparently, I was sending too many texts. I think I sent like 100,000 texts in a week or something.
And what were you paying per text?
4 cents, I believe.
Were you seeing better results in that compared to anything else?
Text is always a good idea. The lesson that I learned is once you do it at such a big scale, it could get it could get jammed, because if you keep it under a certain number, the filters don't trigger a red flag. If you do that many, it's gonna trigger a red flag. Depending which provider you're using. If I had
And
to do it,
who do you like?
the one that I was using was Easy Texting.
Okay.
I think they were fine. Never had any issues with them. But apparently the week that we sent 100,000 texts was, and it wasn't even 100, it was like 96, 97. It was a big no-no for them. So apparently what happens is, if we or any person sends out that many texts in a very short period of time, the telephone companies trigger a red flag for their company. And obviously they don't want to have their company red flag, so they rather red flag the account and close it rather than having their company red flag. So lesson learned is do it in smaller batches.
Okay.
That was the biggest
good to
lesson
know.
that I learned.
And did the Easy Texting integrate with your CRM?
We didn't have it integrated. Typically what we would do is we would download the contacts from the CRM, upload them into Easy Texting, do the text blast, and then as the people were calling us, we would look them up on the CRM. So it wasn't fully integrated. Because once you start integrating stuff, there's no ending to it.
I agree with that. I totally,
Yeah.
at some point it's like just download the list and upload it to their platform and be done.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing also that I realized from doing that, it's a lot better to have a smaller list or smaller database of super targeted in people that you're trying to reach, as opposed to have everybody and their grandma and you just spraying and praying.
Yeah. Yeah. So you do what we do. You narrow your list down. You got some filters, and then you go from there.
Exactly. One thing that I'm surprised, to be honest, that it's not working as good as I thought it would be for the past 2 or 3 campaigns that we have done. It's the letter, the mailers.
Our mailers have fallen off a little bit also.
As far as results and calls from motivated sellers?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're seeing less than we did 6 months ago for some reason.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I was talking to my acquisition manager this morning about it, and we're seeing a huge number drop off. I mean, the cost of the mailers haven't come down, but the response from it has come down dramatically. As a matter of fact, I called the mailing company and told them that we were going to try something different for the next time, which is next month, because we were not getting the results we expected. So we're gonna do our own postcard in-house, come up with a design and send it to see if we get better response on a letter.
Okay. So maybe cut your costs a little bit.
That too, but I'm not too concerned about the cost really. I'm more concerned about response. I've never been afraid of spending the money.
Right.
But if we're not getting the response, that's a problem.
Right. I know that feeling.
So we're gonna try
well,
that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Will you keep us updated next month to let us know if changing it up has done it for you?
Absolutely, I will do that.
I guess you probably won't know for longer than that, but I guess in the next 6 weeks or so you'll know, huh?
Typically we send the mailers out before the 10th of each month. So that way it gets to the landlords and the owners by the 10th or the 15th. That gives them sufficient time to deal with people that are late on the payments and have their, situation being more aggravated. By the time they get our letter, we hope, that it's like the answer to their prayers. But I think they haven't been praying loud enough lately. So, but we'll see. By the end of May, I will have a better update for you.
Excellent. Well, we'll keep track, and you and I will get together on it.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Saul.
Nice talking to you. Take care.
You too. All right, bye. Some great insight from Saul. The guy does a lot of deals, and so it's nice to hear what's working and not working as far as the marketing stuff goes. All right, star 2 to raise your hand with any questions, comments, or victories. Hopefully we got somebody with a victory or 2 on here. I'll talk real quick about a victory that we're doing. I've got a property that had 41 heirs, and we needed 41 signatures, and we just creased over the halfway mark. So that's a good victory for us. We're over halfway. We'll keep trucking and hopefully get a little bit further and get to our 41 heirs. But star 2 to raise your hand. Any questions, comments, victories? All right, we'll wrap it up for the evening. Thank you, everybody, for getting on. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again next week.